that's enough of that, but I'll get a comb. Well, we're finally here. The last season of Stranger Things. It has been the best thing to come out of Netflix? Yeah, probably. Probably, like, one of the only reasons to keep your Netflix subscription, besides anime, because that shit is more expensive than all the other streaming services. It's ridiculous. On one hand, it feels kind of surreal that this show is actually going to be over, like, by the end of this month. Like, that's it. That's it. That's it for the characters. That's it for Hawkins. That's it for the story that's been unraveling about the Upside Down and about, you know, these kids who aren't kids anymore. Hopper, Steve, Robin, Joyce, all these characters, that their stories are all going to conclude. But, you know, on the other hand, took you long enough. Yeah, over the course of, how long has it been? 2016. Wow. That's like 2 years, right? That's like 2 years off from being almost a decade of this show. The 5th one is coming out. Mind you, this is the same company that's more expensive than the other streaming services. I can't put down the cup. Stranger Things manages to have its own sense of structural identity. It always feels like you're watching Stranger Things when you're watching Stranger Things. It's something that I think many franchises can maybe lose sight of at certain intervals. But of course, there's also the problem of Stranger Things maybe feeling too much like Stranger Things. Too many things are similar. But that's not the case, because Stranger Things also always does completely different new shit out of nowhere. In Season 1, there was a spooky Demogorgon running rampant through Hawkins. In Season 2, there's little baby Demogorgons running rampant through Hawkins. In Season 3, we're going FNAF 3. There was a bunch of different guys, one big guy, and he's the big bad guy. I didn't realize how good of an analogy that was gonna be until it came out and I started talking about it more. But yeah, I mean, it's the big bad guy. Season 4, there's a completely new character. Hopper's in Russia, and you know, the mysteries are always different. The objective, almost, I guess, of the season is always completely different. The first season, of course, was all about finding Will. It was about, you know, where did this kid go? What is this creepy monster that took him? What's with this weird girl? Season 2 was all about unraveling Will and his kind of permanent connection to the Upside Down and his new 50-foot-tall interdimensional pen pal, as well as Dustin's just adorable pet, Demogorgon. Season 3 was all about exploding rats and exploding people, about evil Russians trying to open a gate because America and the Soviet Union don't like each other. I don't know if you've heard. As well as the Mind Flayer creating a horrible, despicable, just abomination. And Season 4 was all about kind of Eleven's past and, you know, Henry and the way he's become this horrible monster of just pure nihilism and evil, and how he's trying to open these 4 gates, to open a big giant gate to just ruin everyone's day. And on that subject, the monsters are always different, but they always feel kind of like Stranger Things, you know? They're always disgusting, first off. Alright, well, not always disgusting. I guess it's just Vecna. Vecna's just disgusting. He's a gross man to look at. He looks like a dried up prune that's been out in the sun for way too long. Did I mention the holidays? While I'm at it, while I'm just mentioning things that are similar. They always happen around a holiday, which I think is cool. I don't know. I'm probably not going to get the chance to talk about Stranger Things ever again on this channel. Or at least anytime soon. So I just wanted to mention that. I like the holidays. I like how the first season is Christmas, second season Halloween, third season 4th of July. Because why not, right? You know, fuck it. It came out in summer, you know? Season was gonna come out in summer. Let's make it the 4th of July special. Come on. 4th season was spring, you know, spring break. epic, and now we're ending at Christmas again, because who doesn't love Christmas, am I right? The Grinch, and Scrooge, and hey, look at how those assholes turned out by the end of the movie. You can't escape it. Everybody loved Christmas. Except the Jewish. I don't think they have anything against Christmas, so, you know. Just different. Just not their... You know?
What are we even talking about?
It's not... We... Coexist. Put it up. Yeah, in the Stranger Things video, I guess. Okay. In case you don't get what I mean yet, let me give you some examples. Let me use cartoons, because that'll make it easier for you to get it through your fucking stupid head. That was a bit mean-spirited. I love cartoons. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Take Phineas and Ferb. Phineas and Ferb is literally copy and pasted. Like, every script is like the same thing, essentially. But it's not at all. Like, down to the dialogue. Phineas and Ferb has it worse than Stranger Things. You think Stranger Things is repetitive? Do not watch Phineas and Ferb. Actually, you should, because it's fucking good. But don't watch it if you're gonna be annoying, because I don't like annoying people. Phineas and Ferb have an idea. They know what they're gonna do today. Isabella walks in. What you doing? They build some crazy contraption. Candace tries to show their mom. The mom never sees it. Perry goes off to fight Doofenshmirtz. Or Perry gets briefed, and then Doofenshmirtz builds a weapon. And Doof captures Perry, tells him scarring traumatic backstory, tells him his plan. Perry fights him. The machine usually destroys whatever the boys built. Perry presses the self-destruct button. Then the mom comes up, shows up, it's gone. Oh, there's Perry. The end. And yet, every single episode of that show, which usually has episodes that average around 11 minutes, if you consider the fact that there's 2 in 1, is completely different and full of completely new content and completely enjoyable content. And it's definitely not just TV shows. Movies try the same thing as well. Staying on the seasonal topic, and because I mentioned it earlier, Home Alone 2 is almost blatantly Home Alone 1 again. To the point where it's not even funny. The kid gets left home alone, he has silly hijinks because he's home alone. The burglars, they want to break in, they have some encounters, they kind of establish this, rivalry. They try to break in, the kid fucks with them, there's all the traps, they get sent to jail, he reunites with his family, all is well. Along the way, there's this person who's kind of creepy, but then the character meets them, really meets them, and realizes they're kind of misunderstood. They have this emotional conversation that helps them both understand each other a lot more, and allows them both to kind of see these new perspectives on their lives, and ultimately allows them to become better because of it. These are 2 different movies, by the way. I'm describing you 2 different movies simultaneously. And yet, Home Alone 1 and 2 are both beloved by everyone. By me, at least. Because despite having essentially the same plot beats and the same story beats and the same events that kind of happen, they unfold in different ways from each other, and in ways that allow you to explore different aspects of the messages that the story is trying to convey. Sequels often try to veer too far into one direction, but Stranger Things and Home Alone and plenty of other stories, perfect at balancing right in between 2 extremes, and going too far into familiar territory or going too far into this doesn't even feel like the same thing anymore territory. Which is completely understandable. A sequel is a very infamously hard thing to write. On one hand, you don't want to alienate your audience too much, but on the other hand, you don't want to play it too safe unless you just want money and which case you do want to play it safe, play it extremely safe. But let's assume that you actually want to tell a good story. Well, you don't want to do the same story again, but if you tell a story that's too different from what you were doing before, what's the point of it even being a sequel? What's the point of it being the same characters? Just make a completely new movie at that point, disconnected from this franchise that you already created. A sequel should build on the aspects of the original. Find new places to take characters that naturally feel like where they should go. Sure, Hopper, Joyce, and Murray are all doing Russian stuff in Season 4 like they were in Season 3, but instead of trying to infiltrate and uncover a conspiracy about them opening a giant gate in the middle of Hawkins, they're trying to go to Russia so they can break Hopper out of a prison where a Demogorgon is being kept, while Hopper tries to survive, escape, and survive again with a guy named Enzo. I think he had another name. I don't remember. He's Enzo to me. He'll always be. Kinda different. Kinda very different. And kinda does very different things to those characters as far as their stories go. I mean, Hopper literally tries to sacrifice himself at the end of Season 3 to save everyone, and yet his character during Season 4 is all about the idea that maybe he should stay alive because there's still some good he can do in the world. And that's what I think Stranger Things understands, that when you have a franchise and when you release new installments, whether it be a new season or a new movie or even a new book or a new anything, it should feel the same, but it should always be different. And I don't know about you, but I think Stranger Things does that pretty well. And even in this new season, they're still kind of going into that. They're all splitting up into different groups. They're more coordinated now. They skipped the step where they have no idea what's going on. They know what's going on, kind of. And they came together, but now they're going apart again. Anyways, that's all the time I have for this video. If you liked it, there's a button for that. Please press it. I would greatly appreciate it. If you want to see more from me, then be sure to hit the subscribe.